Well, to talk more about that, we're joined by Ahmad Sharawi. He's a research analyst at the Foundation for the Defence of Democracies. Welcome, Ahmad. So would you say that Jordan's King Abdullah is completely behind al-Sharaa's leadership plan for Syria? And what kind of guarantees can he get for the border security issues which very much affect his country?
So King Abdullah wants to see stability in Syria, and he wants to preserve Jordan's security interests, first of all. As the report said, Syria has been the northern border with Syria has been a route for smuggling weapons and narcotics throughout Bashar al-Assad's reign, and it has become Jordan's top priority to curb that. And so I believe that there will be more coordination between the Jordanian and Syrian authorities to curb these smuggling operations. Since Bashar al-Assad's downfall in December 2024, we've seen multiple seizures of Captagon production facilities, as well as the new Syrian authorities were able to capture a lot of shipments that attempted to cross into Jordan. So the plan is the Jordanians and the Syrians will coordinate their security operations in order to preserve that long border.
And Ahmed, to what extent is Jordan committed to help rebuilding Syria, a mammoth task that will cost billions of dollars? Is Jordan prepared to give financial support?
Of course, I mean, Jordan sees an economic benefit in Syria. Prior to the eruption of the civil war in 2011, Jordan and Syria had a very close economic relationship because of the border, a lot of trade, and both countries benefited a lot from that. After the war erupted and chaos was the dominant factor in the area, that became an economic burden to Jordan. And so I think Jordan sees the potential in that. However, Jordan is not, its financial capabilities is not as strong as other neighboring countries or countries in the region like the Gulf. So Jordan will only be able to provide what it can provide. In this case, electricity. Jordan has been providing electricity to southern Syria since the downfall of the Assad regime. But I would assume that this might be expanded and increased with the improving security situation in other areas in Syria.
Now, King Abdullah criticised Israel today and the airstrikes that Israel carried out on weapons facilities inside Syria. Al-Sharaa has repeatedly said he doesn't seek war with Israel, but with Israel saying it's got no plan to give up those strategic positions in the Golan Heights, and now it's offered to protect minorities in Syria. Israel's foreign minister talking about a federal Syria. Do you think that might change, particularly if he has the strong backing of countries like Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and of course Turkey?
So, I mean, in the short term, I think al-Sharaa's plan is to rebuild his state, unify all segments of the population, create a unified army, and settle the domestic issues. Of course, I think the post-October 7 Middle East has changed a lot of people's minds in terms of what they can do with Israel. I think al-Sharaa understands that the security calculus taken by Israel has changed, and that if he looks at the Hamas leadership or the Hezbollah leadership, how they were decimated, I think he understands that provoking Israel into military action will result in his downfall or death. So I think that plays a very important role in influencing his decisions. Again, the Syrian people who have suffered suffered from conflict and bloodshed for 14 years, I don't think they would be willing to go to war with Israel, knowing that they are the more dominant and stronger military power.
And just to go back to the Jordanian perspective, how can a good relationship with an ex-Al-Qaeda fighter like Sharaa help King Abdullah shore up his own position at home? Because he, of course, is a constant threat from Islamists and extremists, isn't he?
Of course, I mean, it's not an easy option to take, given Mr. al-Sharaa's previous his background as an Al-Qaeda fighter. However, I think what Jordan sees is that stability in Syria and securing its interests should top the priority list, and that would outweigh at least the chaos that was apparent during Bashar al-Assad's reign over Syria. So what Jordan wants right now is to preserve its national security. It wants to preserve its ability to counter any threats from the northern border. I think Jordan appreciates that there are no Iranian militias or Iranian-backed militias in southern Syria operating because of the downfall of the Assad regime, and they're trying to outweigh the risks of supporting Mr. al-Sharaa. So for now, I think Jordan is being pragmatic in terms of its regional policies. I think it will assess its relationship with Mr. al-Sharaa depending on the trajectory the Syrian state goes to. However, for now, I think the top priority is securing its national security interests.
Ahmad Sharawi at the FDD, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.